The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So there was this man, he had no children, Rahman al-Islam, and the Kedushas Levi showed up, and they said, go to the Kedushas Levi. Go to the Kedushas Levi. So he said, no, I'm not going. And his wife said, you are, and he said, he's not. His wife said, you are, and at the end, he did. And the Kedushas Levi told him that it's that I can't help you. He said, but there's a Yid that he's the head of the Lamed Vav Tzadikim. His name is Rabbi Saris. He's wandering around town. Find him. He can help you. Where do I find him? So he comes home. He sent me off to someone else. Forget it. She said, you're going to go to this Rabbi Saris. I'm not going to go. You are going to go. I'm not going to go. You are going to go. And he went, of course. And he met him. And Rabbi Saris said to him, he was just dressed like a regular person, packing sacks on a wheel. And he said to him, what do you want from me? He said, the Kedushas Levi sent me to you. He said, you can give me a bracha for children. He said, you know that it's your fault you don't have children. So why? He says, you were once a chassan? He said, of course I was once a chassan. Else how did I get married? Before this wife? I'm not sure if that part of the conversation actually took place. You know the idea. And he said, yeah. And you dropped the shidduch? Why? Well, her father promised a certain amount of money, and he lost his money, and he invested in cryptocurrency or something, I don't know. So I dropped the shidduch. Well, her tears are stopping you from having kids, so don't bother me. So he started running after the wagon. He said, what can I do? Can I ask her mechila? Looked at him like, a little bit late, lady, my friend. He said to him, I'll tell you what. Make a cheshbon if you take every single thing that you own. Your clothes, your house, your table, your chair, every last thing. You're left penniless, penniless. 0, 0, 0. You're entitled to meiser only l'chol shitz the whole days. You're only ve'ev, you're eating a tamchi. He said, how much money would you have? He made a quick cheshbon. I don't know what I have, 1,000 ruble. Sell everything, come back to me. Comes home, he tells his wife the crazy thing that he did. Before his wife had a chance to say whether it is crazy or not crazy, she went and she sold everything and gave him the 1,000 ruble. And he came back to Rabbi Saris. Rabbi said, okay, now go give her the money, maybe she'll be meichel. He says, I don't know where she is. He said, she's in the Yanapoli in the tomato market selling tomatoes. So he travels to Yanapoli. He doesn't see anyone that remotely even looks like her. He hasn't seen her in years. And he says, he sent me on a wild goose chase. I feel like that, remember those books, turn to page 36, turn to page 38, you turn to the back, what did he send me here for? She's not here. And just then the skies turn black, and there's lightning, and there's thunder, and he goes running in to take cover. There's a blast of lightning, and he sees a woman there, and they recognize each other. And she says, you destroyed my life. He apologizes, too late now, she said. He says, take this money and be meichel me. I don't have kids. I don't have a life. She said, I don't need your money now. Please get out of my way. And he started crying. You're my last chance. So you were also my last chance. And finally, she said, you know what? I have a brother that's marrying off a daughter tomorrow morning, and they didn't have a red cent to the name, and their mechutna is threatening to cut off the shidduch. Go to him. If he takes the money, I'll be meichel you. Where does he live? Up in the mountain. So 3 o'clock in the morning, the kal is crying. They just got a letter from the mechutna that if they don't have the money by tomorrow, the chuppah is off. She is going out of her mind. And the husband is ripping the hair out of his head, and the wife says, we have to have a munah, we have to have a bitachon. And he said to her, you're naive, you're so naive. What do you think at 3 o'clock in the morning someone's going to knock on the door and say, here's 1,000 ruble, you're out of your mind? They opened the door, and the guy said, can you please take this 1,000 ruble, please? And he looked at him and said, wait, who are you? I know who you are. You're the one that destroyed my sister's life. And they look at each other, and finally, make a long story short, he said, how did you know to come here now? He says, well, your sister told me. When did my sister tell you? He said, I don't know, half hour ago. And he faints. The father of the house faints. His wife goes, what did you tell my husband? He said, his sister told me to come. When did his sister tell you? About a half hour ago. She faints. This is getting out of here. It's fainting house here. So there's carbon dioxide leaking here somewhere, carbon monoxide poisoning. And finally they wake up and they say, why did you faint? He says, my sister died 10 years ago. Then he fainted, whatever. So Rabbi Saris brought down the neshama of this girl to ask a mechila. So we really can't do that so much, right? It's hard for us to bring down neshamas to ask mechila. So really what Matan Torah was, everybody was in place. The rest of the world is a pirish of Matan Torah. The Eibishter is mesav asibos in our own daily nisyonos that we have a chance to make up for things. Anyone you meet and you have an assignment with, there's a reason Hashem is revolving the world in such a way that you have that second chance, and our job is to make sure that we don't miss it.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org